Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, it's that time of month again, that time of year again, that time of whatever again. It's time to do the July 2024 predictions video here. So we want to know what in the world July has in store for us. We are already somehow halfway through the year of 2024, and just, I guess, hoping that the other half goes well. And so we're taking a look at July today. I know these predictions are for July, but sometimes when I film like a few days early before the turn of a new month, predictions start kind of coming up that come up sooner. So just in case it's helpful, I know it's going to take a while to get this. It says 4:41 on Friday, June 28th. Is right now while I'm filming, so in case something comes up here that's intended to come up for July, but then it happens early, that would be why. Yeah, that's why. So I'm putting it out there that we're going to try to get these predictions on time, but you never know if we might actually get some information that comes true too soon. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that freak you out. Got a good track record here on the channel. Gonna bring up the cards over there so that we can see them here, and I'm gonna move this microphone right here. Oh, Penelope, what has happened to your eye, sweet dear? This one, can we get it to go back down? It might be what it is. It is what it is. We love her anyway. We're just gonna keep going. So, yeah. It's been intense, and I actually have put some thought into this in terms of when I do the predictions for this month. The last few months, I feel like, have been a little bit weird in terms of me asking questions and then things kind of going their own way. Like, you know, we had kind of a format that we used to do for these monthly predictions, and it was working well for quite some time, but then it lately has been just kind of doing the whole mind of its own type thing, and I might just let it do that. If that's the way that it's been kind of doing on its own for the last few months, I might just stop fighting that and let that happen. And so instead of trying to kind of go topic by topic, I might just let it be a bit of a free-for-all. So whatever comes up is what comes up. Figure let's give that a go today, see how that does, and we'll make decisions accordingly. So let's jump right on into this. I'm going to get shuffled up here. As always, this is international since we have viewers from all over the world watching these videos, and this is also all alleged, just my interpretation. Gotta say that for the YouTube overlords here, so keep them happy. But let's go ahead. This is our first card. Let's go ahead and just start digging in and seeing what they have to say. So, July 2024 predictions. Please give us some insight, spirit guides. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty, so in terms of what they're already bringing up here, we've got kind of an interesting lay of the land. Started out kind of confining and challenging, but then some things have freed up as we get further down. So what I'm seeing here with this top row, it looks like they're talking about someone, and for whatever reason I'm getting the impression that this top row is related to politics, because that is how we used to and usually start out with these readings. So even if I didn't, limit it to that this time, I think it's kind of flowing organically in that way, so I'll go with it. This is feeling like somebody who's hands are tied, literally, figuratively, that somebody in the political sphere, it's like, I'm sorry, this is what it is. There's nothing really more we can do. Like, I'm getting that phrase in my head of like, I'm sorry, there's nothing more that can be done. There's nothing more that we can do. And with that being said, that feels like it's, I don't want to say ending a chapter, because this is an 8 of Swords. It's not quite an end of a chapter, but it's getting close. We're at an 8. This goes up to 10. So it's kind of like, all right, we're butting on up there towards the end of a certain chapter. We're getting pretty close. It's that time for, I hate to say the words that are coming to my head, but it's hard to say something other than what's popping in my head. So my husband is from Mexico, and he said that they have some kind of a phrase, and I forgot how you say it in Spanish, I'm sorry, but there's some kind of a phrase that basically, when it's like, things are done and it's over, but you keep trying anyway, they call it drowning kicks. And that's what this is giving me. It's like, it's already over. All the extras that you're trying to put in it, it's just drowning kicks. You're gonna drown anyway, kind of thing. Just succumb to it. It's kind of what this is saying in, obviously non-literally here. So with that being said, that is like nearing the end of something, politically speaking. With the end of this, when this does come to an end, because again, this is just an 8 of Swords, we still have 2 more to go, so there's still some time left on this for more drowning kicks, more attempts at trying to make things better when it kind of can't really get better. As that's happening, we have our Magician card up right here, and then our Wheel of Fortune card in reverse here. This is a very interesting kind of lineup, because it's like, while we're waiting for this to finalize and finish running its course, then somebody else or something else starts to rise up as either like as a replacement or as the new thing to shift over into. There's some kind of a newness here, and this newness is coming in a very capable way. This Magician card is portraying someone here that has a ton of resources, a ton of access, total ability to do whatever they want with each of these pieces of the tarot that they have here. This Magician is an alchemist on this card. It's somebody that does the whole water to wine, silver to gold, all of that. And so we're seeing that somebody or something is able to kind of to take an opportunity here and kind of shift the lay of the land. In terms of, is this a good thing or not so good thing that this is showing up here? It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. In terms of the fact that we're talking about July and we still have more of this year to go, it looks like it's saying that for right now, when we're saying there's a little bit of both, it's because that's what we're going to see for July. We're going to see like, hey, some people are going to think this is a good thing. Some people are going to say this is a bad thing. And we're going to see this sense of things spiraling. So again, I feel like this is something politically. We're going to see this political spiral going on, and it's gonna really take hold here in July 2024. So political upheaval, a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of doubling down, a lot of cheap tricks, a lot of behind the scenes strategy, a lot of things like that are going to go on. But again, that's part of the drowning kicks. So it's going to be a wild month with politics in July. half of what's going on is going to look good, half of what's going on is going to look bad. So it's going to be at a peak confusing time with peak confusing and conflicting information out there. Do not try to bother to make sense of it in July. Basically, just use July as a way to absorb it all and just witness it all and take it all in, and know that in an upcoming month, things will make a little bit more sense and will look a little bit more clear some type of way, but it's not gonna be clear now because we're wanting to see this shift come on, but it can't while we still have this residual here that is not ready to go. And that's gonna cause all kinds of ripple effects in really weird ways. So the landscapes of politics in July 2024 is going to get really weird really fast, really intensely. So again, I think observe, but observe from far back, and try not to brain too hard over it. Just take in some data points and figure it out later, because whoo Lord. Down here with the 6 of Wands upright, 3 of Cups upright, 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands upright. This is a really good row for somebody. This is kind of looking like that there's somebody coming in. It's most likely going to be a male that they're talking about here with this person coming in. They are riding high on their high horse, feeling like completely confident here. They've got a lot of support. They've got a lot of means of communication, and they are doing well for themselves. Let's see what they're trying to say about this person that they're kind of painting a picture about this person. Painting, picture, person. Apparently I can't say all the P's in one. So yeah, let's see what all they're saying about this. We got a lot of context about this person or situation. So what do we say about this one that's actually going to go well, specifically when we're thinking about July of 2024? So what more can we know about this person? So something had happened around this person where things were not completely fair, not completely just. They were, hanging in the balance some kind of a way to where people felt kind of wishy-washy about this person, but it looks like, again, there's some kind of a change in the tides here relative to this individual that seems like it's going to be significant for July of 2024. Yeah, so this is, new information, new support, new, sometimes this comes up even as an evidence card, but it, you don't have to necessarily think of it as literal evidence. You can just think of it as tangibles, tangible information, tangible insights, something. It could even be money passing hands, whatever kind of way to have, like, oh, we're supporting you, we're going to support you even in a financial way. Like, it could be a lot of different ways, but there's some kind of major support going on in this category here. And again, like I said, that this was going to be bringing about a shift in the tide for this person in a positive way. I see that here as well. With this upright 2 of Pentacles. So while there's somebody here that's struggling and having some drowning kicks, there's somebody here that's kind of going through an opposite time. I do not know if these two are exactly related, like, as one goes up, one goes down, because there's a literal, inverse kind of correlation thing happening right here, or if these two are just two separate events and it's just talking about someone who's, having a hard time, and then this person over here, independent, is having a good time. Not entirely sure if there's, exactly a connection here. But this person, is going to be in better standing in July of 2024. Let's see, our 9 of Cups in reverse and our 2 of Cups upright. this is kind of alluding to, actually, yeah, okay. I was like, ooh, hold on, actually, and then, yeah, confirmation of the ooh. That's what I thought. So I'm just gonna put this up here so that we can kind of see what we're working with. But this is looking like, with this person that's kind of getting this, this rise, this build up, things happening better for them, going in a better direction. The problem here is that I see that there are some people unhappy about that and bitter about that are going to coalesce together in some kind of a way, and they're going to pull some stunts over it in a way that can be very, very damaging. So this is actually an unfortunate thing that's going to happen to this person. It's like this person was coming out of a hard time. They're going into a good time in July, and then something's going to happen that, from people who are, I guess, pissed off at their success or something, and it's going to start to tank that back down. So this person's kind of going through a little bit of a roller coaster effect here. Again, starting in July 2024, with their process. And both of these do feel political. They really do. And again, I think it's just because I usually start off on politics in these kind of videos. So even if I didn't define it that way for this, it just went that way naturally. And I'm, like I said, I'm going with whatever they're giving me. I'm not going to fight against kind of their flow. So this could even be a bit of a backstabbing kind of a thing. So it could look really underhanded when it happens. The issue with doing that, though, is that it's not going to be sneaky enough for it to be effective. So when this happens, everybody's going to be able to see it. Everybody's going to know what it is. And you know, sometimes things aren't as effective if you're not smooth about it. You know, if you do something clunky in a way that's obvious, then sometimes it could backfire. So this is just, like I said, July 2024, in terms of political stuff, it's going to be wild. It's going to be confusing. There's going to be twists and turns. Things aren't going to make full sense. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, and we need to just observe from 50 feet back and not try to make any kind of decisions for a while. I don't want to belabor all of this too long. I feel like we've been talking about this for 8 years now, you know, going on and on and on. And I'd rather not talk for forever on this. I literally just pulled a number out of my ass and said we've been talking about this for 8 years now. That could be a Freudian slip of some kind of sorts. Like, I literally, you can ask my husband, I'm always like, whenever I say things hyperbolically, it's always some kind of eights, like, it's been 8,000 this, or 8 million this, or 80 this, or 800 that, or 8 whatever. I don't know why I always say that when I'm making hyperbolic statements, but this time I said 8. And if we're talking politics, and this could be U.S. politics, then like, this has been going on for 8 years. If this is Trump Biden stuff, then no, literally it has been going on for 8 years. So I don't know. I might have just said that by accident. Might have stepped into something for real. So I don't know. I'll have to read all that back, watch all that back later, and kind of see how that may or may not fit with that. I don't know, but this is wild. But like I said, we've been going on for a minute. Let's go on and move on to something else. Just in essence of trying to get more context up in this video. So, as I'm shuffling up here so that we can kind of ask something new and look into something new, I will mention that we always do a second video of these monthly predictions over on the Perk Squad. So if you'd like to see the second video, just kind of extended content over there on the Perk Squad, then you can click the blue join button below or the link in the description box. Lots of perks to the Perk Squad, one of which being video shout outs. So a shout out to you, Moody Beignet, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you, of course. So shout out to you, Moody Beignet. Awesome. So Next category, spirit guides, whatever we can know about July 2024. What do you want to bring up here? Okay, let's see. Interesting. All right, so from what we're seeing here, I keep shifting in my chair. I'm sitting all cross-legged on a bench, and it is not of the utmost comfort. Let's get a swig of some Olipop. All right. So, with what we're seeing over here, this actually looks like some sort of a situation that is, it's not a good situation. It's a rough situation that has been going on for a long time, and it looks like this is kind of talking about pressure to give up on something. So it's like when something's going on for too long and it's time to kind of start to put an end to things, or, you know, make some sort of headway instead of just going on and on for the sake of going on. It just needs to have something. I do see some kind of movement happening with that. I'm thinking, because of some of these cards that I'm seeing down below, let me just verify. Okay, potentially, yeah. So from, I don't know where to put this card. I'm just going to put it here for right now. From this, it feels like this could be about, like, as an example, the Ukraine-Russia thing going on, because this is talking about something that feels like, again, going on for a long time, not something that we would consider a good thing, but there's some kind of a letting go here. I don't take that to mean somebody's like, okay, I'll just let it go and I'll just drop it then. I don't think that's what it means. I think there's some kind of a letting go, as in, you know, when you get, for lack of a better way of putting it, when you get kind of caught red-handed or pushed into a corner with no other options or things like that, then you have to concede to certain points on certain things. I do see some sort of letting go or release in that kind of an aspect. So even if it's on small details or minor things of having to be like, yeah, in terms of picking and choosing my battles, I'm gonna have to, you know, let this thing go, or not fight that thing that hard, or find a alternate path for this decision, or, you know, some other kind of detour, so to speak, that feels like a letting go or you know, release of some sorts. There's something here that's talking about that, and again, that could be referring to Russia, Ukraine. There's a possibility it could also be referring to Israel, Palestine. It's really hard to tell in these kinds of things, because technically both things have been going on for a while. Both things are classified as negative. Both things give off the feeling of war, and that's what this is saying. So if I get any further clarity on that as we start going through and reading more on which of the two it might be, then fine. But for now, it feels like it's something over there in terms of that. So it's probably referring to one of those two things. But again, as we're going further down, with this Temperance card, again, this is some sort of sense of like, we need to kind of get at some sort of a balance point here, and things have not been doing that on its own, and that's why that kind of letting go energy came in. And that's, you know, what, when I pulled this, is kind of a context type of situation. This is kind of like, all right, everything's been all over the place, you know, everybody's mental hamster wheels have been going, and that's not sustainable. We cannot keep like that. At some point, there's going to be a something's got to give type of moment, and I see some kind of a build up to that effect. So let's just get a little bit more context up on this, see where this is taking us, and see what else we can kind of get out of this information here. So just going to lay a couple on top of this. Yeah, this is a sense of, you know, laying low or pausing or in some kind of a way, again, having to accept restraint or something, like somebody having to have restraint some kind of way, having to limit themselves some kind of way, not getting what they're wanting some kind of a way. So in one of those warring types of things going on over there right now, there's gonna have to be some restraint in July of 2024. I see somebody basically pulling the reins back and making the horses kind of, you know, stop, so to speak. It's this, I don't know what would cause that necessarily. I don't know if somebody gets told that they can't do something that they were planning on doing, or if they get told that they're not going to get the type of funding that they thought that would enable them to do what they're doing, or there's something that kind of gets in the way in terms of, you know, a decision that's made or a ruling that comes down the pipeline or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what causes this, but this does feel like a yank on the reins that kind of pulls things back a little bit, some kind of a way, that encourages more further communication. And that's something that it seems like whoever's responsible for the not so good things going on is not going to like. But I see some kind of communications going on over there, more so than what's already even been happening. And yeah, somebody's going to put their foot down some kind of a way. Somebody's really going to put their foot down about this. We got our Emperor card here upright. So, interesting. What in the world, July? I mean, I'm sitting over here in the States being like, well, July is one of our hottest months out of the year, and maybe it's kind of a heat over, but last month was the video's theme was that we've reached the boiling point. This is also feeling like a boiling over of sorts. So this is weird. It feels like as if last month was reaching the temperature of boiling, but then, you know, if you have boiling water and you keep it at that way, it just starts, you know, boiling overflowing, you know, from the pot on the stove. And that's kind of what this looks like. We're getting into some overflow type territory here, and that's potentially worse than what we had this past month, because this is the kind of territory where that's much more visible. That's much more obvious. That's something that, you know, it's not like, oh, people are saying that this is what's going on. It's like, I'm literally watching this here. I'm seeing it play out. So this is something that's highly visual in nature. So, you know, this is probably something that's going to be, you know, pretty televised, across the media some kind of a way. I would say be open to seeing some sort of surprises come down the pipeline as it relates to these fights, these wars, going on overseas. So, July, good heavens. Let's see, let me pull these up, reshuffle these back. I know I've already been going on for a while, but we'll do one more pull here before moving on over to the Perk Squad for some extended information. And as I get shuffled up here, of course, if you'd like to book a private reading, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, you can book a private reading. I not only have private tarot readings, but also have Reiki Energy Healing for people who like a tune-up, cleansing and clearing. Got life coaching for people who feel stuck and need some help kind of soundboarding and working their way out of certain things. I can also teach people how to read the cards the way I read the cards too. So there's some tarot tutoring on there. Everything is on BeasTalksAndTarot.com for anyone interested. But let's go ahead, take a look at one more category here. Let's see. Well, it could be anything. I say category because I'm used to doing categories, but again, we have this wide open. So one more thing that we're allowed to know about July 2024. Spirit guides, whatever we are allowed to know here. Okay. So, okay. Not sure who this is referring to, but given the fact that I've got the World card in reverse, they're giving me the impression that this is referring to someone that is not over here in the United States. So we're talking about somebody in a different country, just going to put that out there. And whoever this is the King of Wands. So somebody from another country other than the United States. He's coming up as our King of Wands card. So I'm going to say, a male who is powerful, who is used to being able to kind of call the shots, somebody that probably has a little bit of a temper, whether or not he shows that publicly. Some leaders don't like to show publicly that they could be a little bit of a hothead, but then behind the scenes, their staff know. So I don't know if this is somebody who's obviously a hothead or it's just people who are in the inner circle know that it's true. But either way, I'm seeing something that he's working on, that he's been working on for a long time. That's a pretty big thing, a pretty big deal. And it looks like in July 2024, he's going to start getting somewhere with that. And the only reason why that gives me a little bit of concern from what we see just so far here is because of the fact that we know he could be prone to a temper. That kind of could be a little bit unsettling, and because of this Ace of Swords in reverse, which is like when people have a skewed view of things, that they're not seeing things clearly, that they're lacking some of that mental clarity. And our Sun card coming up in reverse as well. This is usually the best card in the deck. If we're coming up in reverse, then it's like, we're missing that potential here, and there's something that's getting skewed. So whoever this person, non-US powerful man is, that's been working on something for a long time, getting somewhere with it, and that's maybe not the best thing. Maybe we don't want to see him get somewhere with that. Let's see where this is going to take us. Again, gosh, this is okay. My mouth, same speed. In the first section that we were doing when we were talking about politics, someone was coming up that had this similar type of thing here of this card in reverse and this card upright. It came in their reading. So this person, to me, feels like in some way they could be related to the political realm. They may or may not be a politician in and of themselves, but they are in some way connected to the political realm. They might have influence over politics some kind of a way, or influence over decisions some kind of a way, for this theme to be coming up again from where it was earlier. And this person is feeling like they're not getting their way as much as they want, and they're going to be kind of aligning with people where they think that they have a better shot at that. Like, and for all we know, it could be someone who's already plenty getting their way. They're just greedy and want more. I don't know. It could be somebody that really has been struggling, and so they want some help with that. But either way, I see some sort of partnering here that looks like it's going to make itself known here this summer. Yeah, again, we're talking about partnering. Partnering with who? Now we've got a King of Pentacles. So somebody that's at a similar caliber as this person, but sees things differently. This one is kind of more fiery and passionate. This one is kind of more stable and not necessarily emotionally stable, but stable as in they've got what they need. They're very grounded in some sort of a support system that they don't have any kind of want for anything, because everything they could ever want's already laying at their feet, kind of thing. So it's a good person to want to connect to. If that's what you feel like you're missing, then you find someone that's like, oh, they've got it all, let me partner up with them. Why is this coming up? Why is this because it's a reversed Wheel of Fortune? There are so many different things brewing right now. That's literally, I'm going to write down brewing. I know it's similar to boiling, but there's some kind of a, like, that's a theme here that they're wanting us to know. It's like that is a theme of July 2024, is this sense of something is brewing. And when you get that, then it's likely we're going to be seeing these things that they're talking about, but these are just aspects of a bigger picture. These are just the pieces of July. If we think about all of 2024 as being a 12-piece puzzle set, July is just one piece of the puzzle. So half of the puzzle will have been finished. We'll still have more puzzle pieces left to collect that will continue to add in this. So, but this is a brewing type of thing, and it's showing in all of these different pockets. It feels like there's some kind of a coalescing of these things. God, what was that movie? They always put these like fragments of like hints or visions or things in my head, and I don't always know how to make sense of them. But there was a movie I had seen back around the time I was in college, which was 8,000 years ago. See, there I go again with the eights. 8,000 this time, years ago. And there was some movie where it was like these people were having these crazy things happening in their life, and then this set of people were having their own crazy things, and it was just showing these vignettes of all these clusters of people that were having their own separate crazy life things happening. But then somehow by the end of the movie or by the end of the show, all of these clusters of people that were having their own separate experiences were somehow connected and having some kind of a coalescing or an overlapping, where this person ended up in this person's scenario because of some kind of an uncanny relationship of things, and this person ended up in this person's scenario, and there was some kind of a blending where they all had this, connectedness or togetherness. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. I don't remember it being a mainstream movie because we watched it in a college class. It felt more indie. It might not have, we might have even watched it in a Spanish class, honestly. It might not have even been in English. But either way, if you know what movie I'm talking about, I don't know how you would, but if you have a magical mind and somehow you know, please put that in the comments, because that's what this is feeling like. That we're talking about all these pockets of things, and these are pockets of things that are going to be kind of coming in and coalescing together in some kind of a way at some future date, and that is brewing, and this is showing how that path leads to there, if that makes sense. So this is kind of a lot, and that's a lot to digest, but it makes sense that they would want to tell us that if we're asking them, what do we need to know about July 2024? And they're like, here's these buckets of things. By the way, later these buckets are going to come together some kind of a way. They're going to interact and be related some kind of way. It's good for us to know that and have that heads up, so that we can be already watching those storyboards play out and start noticing the patterns of how could these come into play together. How could these at some point be relevant in terms of an overlap? And if so, what do we do with those patterns that we're seeing? This gives us good insights. This tells us what we need to know so that we can act accordingly. So very interesting here with everything they've given. Wow. I'm going to go ahead, since in essence of time, already kind of going on for a while, we're going to move over to the extended video, see what else, if anything, we can know about July 2024. But for those of y'all not being a part of the Perk Squad, with these heavier videos and intense things, again, I always like to put out there that we have silly little B-rolls at the end of these videos to help lighten the mood. It's always a good idea to, if your mind's kind of in the, like, that meme of, like, what was his name? Charlie in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, with the, like, red lines and the, this and that, and I'm going to put the pieces together. I know y'all know what meme I'm talking about. If we're feeling like that, that's a little bit of a hypervigilant kind of feeling, and it's a little bit of a paranoid feeling. It's not a good feeling. It's not a happy, calm, peaceful feeling. So maybe just watch the B-rolls so you can just kind of have some happy, calm. Again, I get nothing out of the B-rolls in terms of, like, it doesn't make me money or anything like that. It's just that it makes people feel better, and there's really good reason to encourage people to do that. It's really good reason to have people, have a little bit of a chuckle at the end of something, and restore some inner peace and calm and stuff, re-regulate yourself. There's a lot of good perks to that. So y'all go ahead and take a look at that coming up here shortly. And Perk Squad, I'll see you over there with your extended video in a second. And then there's other videos that I have on my mind to film in the coming weeks. But as always, put your requests below. I always like to read those and add those to my considerations list to select from. So those will be coming up shortly. And was there anything else that I missed here that I was gonna say? If so, they have gone with the wind. Never to be seen again. So anywho, thank y'all for being here. Don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, y'all. Well, I don't know if it was that necessary, but apparently so. He just has to latch on the corner of his pocket. Yeah, you sleep on your tail. I see you sleeping on your tail. Sleepy's good. Sleepy boarding. Sleepy easy. My goodness.